Imagine walking into a grocery store on a cold evening, just to grab some milk and bread, and leaving with your whole life changed. That's exactly how this story begins. A single dad veteran, exhausted but resilient, found himself in the middle of a scene that no one expected, and by the end, it wasn't just about protecting a stranger, but about uncovering truth, courage, and the kind of justice that restores faith in people. If you're here, stick with me till the end, because this story is going to move you. And if you believe in standing up for what's right, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because stories like these are the ones that remind us humanity still exists. John Miller, a decorated Army veteran and now a single dad raising his 10-year-old daughter, Emily, never wanted to draw attention to himself. Life had been tough enough, adjusting to civilian life, holding down a modest job at a repair shop, and making sure his little girl had everything she needed despite the absence of her mother. Emily was his world, and every decision he made came down to one question: what's best for her? One chilly Friday evening, John and Emily went to the local grocery store. Emily was skipping through the aisles, chattering about her school art project, while John half smiled, trying to stretch his paycheck to cover both groceries and Emily's request for paints. As they stood near the checkout, John's instincts, those razor-sharp senses honed from years of service, picked up tension in the air. He heard raised voices a few aisles over. A woman in her late 30s, dressed in jeans and a simple jacket, was surrounded by two store employees and a security guard. A small bag of items sat on the floor, and the employees accused her of stealing. "You didn't pay for that shampoo and medicine. We saw you put it in your bag," one employee insisted. The woman's face flushed red, not with guilt, but with frustration. "I was going to pay. My phone wouldn't scan the app, and I didn't even leave the store yet. Please, I'm telling you, check the cameras." The guard wasn't listening. "Ma'am, you're coming with us. Theft is theft." John could have ignored it. After all, it wasn't his fight. He had Emily to protect, groceries to pay for, and enough of his own struggles. But something inside him stirred. Maybe it was the way the woman's voice cracked, not like a liar caught in the act, but like someone humiliated for something they didn't do. Maybe it was the way the employees sneered, quick to judge. Or maybe it was just the soldier in him, the part that refused to walk away when someone was outnumbered. Emily tugged his sleeve. "Daddy, they're being mean to her." That was it. John stepped forward, his calm but commanding voice cutting through the chaos. "Excuse me," he said firmly, "I think you're making a mistake." The employees looked at him with annoyance. "Sir, this doesn't concern you." "With all due respect, it does," John replied, eyes locked on the guard. "I served this country to protect fairness and justice. And right now, what you're doing doesn't look like either." The woman blinked, surprised that a stranger would step in. "Sir, she was caught shoplifting," the guard pushed back. "Was she?" John challenged. "Or did she just struggle with your self-checkout system? She's still in the store. You don't get to humiliate her in front of everyone without proof. If you've got cameras, check them. Otherwise, let her explain." By now, people had gathered around, whispering. Emily clutched John's hand tightly, her little heart racing with pride. She had seen her father stand up to bullies before, but this felt different, it felt bigger. The guard hesitated, clearly annoyed by the attention. But before he could say more, the woman reached into her jacket and quietly pulled out a badge. The room went silent. "I wasn't going to do this," she said softly, "but enough is enough." She flipped it open, revealing her identity. She wasn't just some random woman. She was Captain Sarah Rodriguez, an off-duty police officer, and not just any officer, but the head of the city's community policing unit. The crowd gasped. The employees froze, color draining from their faces. "I came here tonight just like anyone else, to pick up a few things after my shift," Sarah said, her voice steady now. "Instead of being treated with basic respect, I was profiled and accused without a shred of evidence." She turned to John, her eyes softening. "And if it weren't for you, sir, I'd still be standing here, humiliated and silent. Thank you for stepping up when no one else did." The employees stammered apologies, the guard muttered something about just doing his job, but the damage was already done. The crowd sided with Sarah and John, murmuring about fairness, about how quick people are to judge. Sarah walked with John and Emily outside after the ordeal. The night air was cold, but the warmth in her eyes was undeniable. You didn't have to do that, she said quietly. John shrugged. Maybe not. But my little girl was watching. And I'll be damned if I teach her that standing by is the right thing to do. Sarah smiled at Emily, crouching down. Your dad's a brave man. He reminds me of why I wear this badge, not for the title, but for the people. For a moment, all three stood there in silence, strangers, yet connected by something deeper. Weeks later, Sarah and John kept in touch. What started as gratitude turned into friendship, and slowly, something more. Sarah admired John's humility and strength. John respected Sarah's courage and integrity. For Emily, Sarah became someone she could look up to, a role model who showed her that strength comes in many forms. The story spread in the neighborhood, not because Sarah was a police captain, but because a regular man, a veteran and father, had chosen to speak when silence would have been easier. And in that choice, he reminded everyone watching that justice doesn't start in courtrooms or uniforms, it starts with ordinary people willing to stand up for others. So if you've made it this far, let me ask you, what would you have done in John's shoes? Would you have walked away, or would you have spoken up? If this story touched you, give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that prove one thing: kindness and courage are never wasted. Because sometimes, the greatest battles aren't fought overseas or in uniforms, they're fought in grocery store aisles, in moments when someone needs us most. And it only takes one voice, one act, to turn injustice into hope.